We back, homies and honeys, with another episode of Final Fantasy 16. This will be episode 68 in our Let's Play. Alright, so we got another, we knocked the hunts out, we got a potion upgrade. We do have to do a quest for Blackthorn. I think it requires us to go someplace. Yeah, we gotta go here. Let's go. Knock him out the box, Ren. Knock him out the box. Oh yeah, I remember they wouldn't let us come in here. Can't go in. Here we go.
Kicked out already? No. This charmer ain't letting anyone through. Why are the gates closed?
Chief's orders. No one's allowed in without his say-so. Not that I'd have let you in anyway. You look like trouble. I suggest you go home.
That's what I'm trying to do, you little prick. Ain't changed a bit, have you, Snotty?
No. It isn't. Blackthorn.
Long time no see, eh?
What the hell are you doing here?
Well, it was meant to be a surprise, but since you asked so nicely, I'm here to see Zoltan, you fucking numbskull. Now let us through.
All right. Just don't go starting anything with the chief.
Yeah, I promise I won't throw the first punch. That good enough for you?
Go on then.
Much obliged.
How you say it? Orchestrian? Oh, orchestrian. Curious clockwork contraption that is able to perform several different musical compositions at the flick of a switch. It was designed and constructed by Young Mid, and Sid labeled it her first true masterpiece of engineering. He hid his own masterpiece inside it, the final part his daughter would need to complete the calibration of the mithril engine that the two designed together.
So this is Dravosht. Not much going on, is there?
It's a smithing town. When I was a lad, you'd have to shout to be heard over the sound of hammer on anvil. Clive, you're good with people. You speak to Zoltan.
Hey, you ain't backing out now, are you?
There's a river of bad blood between me and the chief. But if someone can build me a bridge, then I'll cross it.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
I appreciate it. It'll be near the forge on the hill. It was our master's. He'd have inherited it when I left.
The forge on the hill.
Good luck. You'll be needing it.
But if we can't fire the forges...
We gotta strip search his town. We might not be able to come back.
Would you like to see my wares?
That is a soundtrack.
Thank you. Here you are. Farewell, traveller.
Traveler.
Sorry, but if none of you lot can smell ore anymore, we're gonna have to start looking for new clients.
Ha! Good luck finding anyone else who can make a fire worth a damn.
Never in all my
my long years have things been as bad as they are now? Without magic to feed the furnaces, we're doomed.
The chief doesn't seem to think so. Let's not give up hope just yet, eh?
What's the point of mining this shit if no one can use it?
If they don't fix the forges soon, we'll be out of a job.
That's very true. I forgot that, like, you know, you gotta keep that in mind, that this world is heavily relying on magic. They don't know life without it.
Miners only. Can't have you tripping head first into a pile and bringing the whole place down.
The sky sucked up all the ether or something. Would explain why nothing bloody works down here anymore.
Watch it, stranger. There's a fault up ahead. Take a look if you want, but slip and you won't be coming back.
Not wrong.
Sorry, but if none of you lot can smell ore...
Isn't there anything we can do to help? It doesn't seem fair, the menfolk having to deal with all this on their own.
I've started putting peas and pulses in the pot. They fill the same hole for a fraction of the price of meat.
They fill the same hole. Hey, doggo.
Mama, why hasn't Papa come back yet?
He's helping the chief with something very important. You go back inside now.
Mama, why doesn't Papa love me anymore?
That's my obituary written then. The man who closed the doors on his great-grandfather's forge.
Oh, don't say that. It's not over yet. Let me help.
I know there had to be at least one treasure chest in this town somewhere. Okay, full of magicked ash.
Should be enough to last us a few moons, at least.
Ass forge.
Hotter! Hotter, damn it! Those miserable flames wouldn't melt butter, let alone iron.
Pardon the intrusion. I'm looking for the chief.
That'd be me.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
I'll bet it is. Keep the gates closed, I tell him. Well done, Snotty. You're not welcome here. Get out before things turn nasty.
Blackthorn's here.
What did you say?
He's traveled a long way to see you.
Yes, has he?
He's waiting. Down by the gates.
Then I suggest you take him with you when you leave.
Didn't you apprentice together?
So what if we did? Fuck! We're getting nowhere! These bearers' flames are next to bloody useless!
We're never going to be able to fire up the forges unless we can find some new crystals.
I'm a busy man, as you can see, so do me a favor and piss off. Oh, and if you're struggling to find your way out, ask Blackthorn. That prick knows exactly where the exit is. He's not wanted here. And neither are you.
All right. I'm going.
Please, Chief, you've got to do something. If this keeps up, we'll be ruined.
Blackthorn has the talents to teach what he knows to save this village.
Why hasn't Papa come back?
Remember, he's using a real forge that doesn't use magic crystals. Yeah.
Let me guess. Zoltan told you to piss off.
As a personal favor to him, yes. Well, at least he didn't beat about the bush.
There'll be no talking him round. Not after what I did.
Which is what exactly? If we're to help, we need to know. What turned the village against you?
I left. Dravost. Zoltan. The burden of leadership our dying master dropped in our laps. All of it. There are two kinds of smiths in this world, you see. My kind, who are in it for the love of the craft, who labour on a single piece from dawn to dusk to get it just right. And the other kind, who are in it for different reasons. People like Zoltan, whose work is quick and cheap. The kind of smiths who shit out a few hundred blades, reap the profit, and divvy it out among themselves. There wasn't a single day we weren't at each other's throats. And bit by bit, people started taking sides. You would have torn Dravost in half had it gone on. So, I left.
You didn't have to do that.
Zoltan's a better chief than I would have been. His way of doing things kept food on people's tables. Dravost prospered without me and my lofty ideals getting in the road. Until the crystals run out, at any rate. Without magic to fire the furnaces, this place is as good as dead.
It depends on how you look at it, though. There's got to be other ways of making fire. We manage it in the Deadlands.
Thanks to Sid's ingenuity, yeah. He saw all of this coming. Knew crystals were the problem, not the solution. And spent years coming up with ways of doing without.
You know what I mean, though, right? Where there's a will, there's a way. What I'm trying to say is that it's not your fault. You couldn't have predicted this.
It doesn't matter whose fault it is. I don't want to be the greatest smith alive just because I happen to be the last. Clive. Dravost won't last long without his furnaces. So, do you think it's time we shared Sid's bellows with the world? The way I see it, it's your decision to make.
Hold on, Blackthorn. Sid made those things for us. They give us an edge over the rest. And you'd be throwing it away. All right. Do it. This place was your home. I won't abandon it to its fate. Sid's creations were never meant to be hoarded. It was only ever a matter of time before we shared them. Let this be another step on the road to freeing Valisthea from the prison of the Crystal's blessing. Dravost will show the world that it's possible. Wouldn't you agree, August? When you put it that way, of course. It's like hearing Sid speak from beyond the grave.
Thank you, Clive.
Shall I go and fetch the plans, then?
I know I'm off by heart. I'll be needing some help, though. Building a furnace isn't exactly a one-man job. Do us a favour and round up anyone strong enough to lug a brick or two, would you, August?
All right, then.
And I've got a job for you too, Clive. Finding me some salamander skin. I need leather for the bellows and nothing else will withstand the heat. Luckily for us, salamanders feed out in the fields of Carava.
Time for a spot of hunting, men. won't be easy. Let's make this quick, shall we? No holding back.
Easy peasy. Think we already had this salamander skin before, so we're alright on reading that.
That will be enough for a decent set of bellows.
Teleport back up there. Lazy man. There.
What's this all about then?
Dunno.
Good news, Clive.
A new invention.
When I told people we'd be building them a new furnace, they were practically falling over themselves to help. Talk about changing their tune, eh?
Any trouble finding the skin?
Nothing I couldn't handle.
This should be plenty. Right then, time to put these louds to work. If everyone pulls their weight, we'll be finished in no time.
Well, I'll be damned. I honestly didn't think it'd work. But it's hot enough, all right. And without a single crystal in sight.
You know what this means, don't you?
I do, yeah. Dravost is saved.
Sorry about earlier. take back everything I said. That thing you built us is an honest-to-God's marvel. You've saved our village.
It's Blackthorn you should be thanking. He oversaw the construction.
Give this to him, would you?
What is it?
Pit coal cinders. After he left, I spent years trying to eke the most out of our forges. That there was my answer. Chuck it in the fire, and your forge will burn hotter for longer, which will do wonders for your steel. Our secret for yours. Only fair. I've always envied Blackthorn. Since the day I became chief, I spent every spare moment trying to match up to the bastard. No amount of sleepless nights at the anvil will ever bridge that gap, though. He's a genius. Plain and simple. The man Dravost needed. But he took all his talent and left. Gifted and free. Is it any wonder I hate his guts?
The cinders would mean more coming from you.
I need to forgive him first. And that's not gonna happen.
Well, you know what they say. Oriflamme weren't built in a day and all that. These things take time. Especially when they involve two geezers who hold grudges tighter than their hammers. But what matters is, Blackthorn's got that twinkle back in his eye. And I'd call that a job well done.
Mm-hmm.
So would I.
I reckon he's going to be at it a while yet, though, so why don't you head off without us? I'll see that the old git gets home safe and sound.
See that you both do. I'll save the cinders till then.
All right. It'll be a nice little surprise for him. He's still explaining the ins and outs of the new forge, so I doubt we'll be going anywhere for a bit. No sense you waiting around anyway.
Pit coal cinders, sooty black shards recently removed from the equally sooty black depths of the Drevhord mines. Scattering them over the fire produces a hot crimson flame, for which the effect of the substance has been long highly prized by the desert fortune tellers looking to strike the fear of the inferno into the superstitious clients. Ooh.
These things are going to take some getting used to.
I thought I'd see his face in Dravost
Give
again.
it a week, and you'll wonder why you ever bother with crystals. Let's run through it again, shall we?
I'll bet the blacksmiths will be queuing up to buy you a drink now. Reckon you might have saved this town and everyone in it.
Don't go thinking those cinders mean I've forgiven Blackthorn. Because I haven't, and I won't. But knowing how much they improve my work, I can only imagine what they'll do for him.
Thanks, Zoltan. Alright, you the man, alright?
Gentlemen, I see you both made it home in one piece.
Yeah, well, we didn't want to outstay our welcome. The whole village turned out for a go on the bellows after you left. Everyone except Zoltan has. Didn't see hide nor hair of him.
Oh, but that reminds me. I have something for you.
Pico Cinder. How'd you come by this? And you're sure he wanted me to have it?
I'm sure. He didn't say so, but I think he wants to forgive you.
Huh. Imagine that. Yeah. You know I could never leave this place, don't you? Every time you put on mail, You and the Cursebreakers are trusting me with your lives. There's no greater honor for a Smith than that. I'm not about to go crawling back to Zoltan for forgiveness, but I will make good use of his cinder. And if that helps save even a single life, then he'll have my gratitude. What was it you said he called me? Huh? A genius? And he spent sleepless nights trying to copy me, did he? Sounds like I better get to work. I've got a reputation to uphold.
It's good to see you back on form, Blackthorn.
I don't know how you pair put up with me sometimes, but I'm grateful all the same. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, about to put Zoltan back in his place.
Ain't got the art to tell him how similar they are. Stubborn bastards.
A little healthy competition should be good for him.
You're not wrong. Still, it's a shame him and Zoltan couldn't let bygones be bygones. No use grumbling about it now, though. Blackthorn's happy. Or as near to happy as he gets. And that's good enough for me.
Homie just looking out for his homie. You know what I mean? Cool. Ouroboros design draft. Diagram detailing the steps to create a belt to end all belts. Okay, alright. Right. Gotta upgrade, fam.
Trouble with your gear, or
no we
Sancfordian, do you?
Still missing one item, the stone tongue. Gotta remember there's these gold items that we don't have yet. Is there a gold sword? I don't think so. Alright.
And
letters, some new music, or a whole lot of stuff. Alright.
I will not forget this kindness, my lord. I shall go to Eastport, but as soon as the rebuilding work is complete, I promise to return.
Fine, homie. You do that. A healer's place. Thank you for helping me guide my mentor free from this mortal coil. Contrary to what the maddening coward believes, we physicers are not without our limits. I cannot hope to cure every ill, mend every wound, save every life. The only medicine that will see you home safe without fail is prevention. Not that this knowledge will ever stop any of you from chasing down some behemoth for his toenails. Tarja. Thank you, Tarja. You're so nice.
If it's knowledge you seek,
Let me help. I know my letters. Most of them anyway.
Very well. The more eyes we have poring over these tomes, the sooner we'll find answers about these skies.
I was wondering when next you'd visit. I have compiled some new entries, if you would like to see them.
Double up, boy.
Now this, I believe you will find most interesting.
Living Library. The Southwestern Alliance. An entrant formed between Dalmatia and the Duchy of Rosaria in the year 850 with the aim of preventing the free cities of Canvar from claiming independence from the Republic. While the alliance eventually became a three-way affair when Sambrique joined, bonds between the Dalmex and the Rosarians remained particularly strong, with Rosaria sharing its secrets of vital techniques such as irrigation and the free flow of various diplomats between the two nations. Okay. The Desmac, a mother crystal that is believed to have stood in the area in the northeastern part of Dalmekia. Legends tell that it was destroyed in a battle between men and gods. A battle so ferocious that it left behind a great crater that can be seen today. Okay. So that big hole, there was a crystal there, but it got blown up, got destroyed by a battle between men and gods. The Bank of Gilbert the Great Lender, or Gilbard. A folk religion popular in the free cities of Canvar, Gilbard the Golden was a legendary trader who not only introduced the concept of fiat currency to the Valistia, but founded the Canvar's very first merchants guild. When the same guild was later entrusted with administering Valistia's common currency, they chose the name Gil in honor of their revered founding father. The faith is organized largely along the lines of a commercial organization, and prayers tend to be aimed at bringing prosperity and success in business. The Truandy of 859, a Triparty alliance formed in the year 859 between Rosaria, Dalmekia, and Sambric. Its purpose was to oppose the independence of the free cities of Canvar due to the fears that it might inspire similar independence movements elsewhere in the realm. The alliance was disbanded in 860 in light of the attack on Phoenix Gate and the dispute over Sambric's compatibility in the affair. Oh, so there was like some kind of truce going on, but it broke when Annabella did some shicey shit and that Phoenix Gate shit went down. Magitech, a term that appears in early histories of the fallen civilization and describes their highly advanced magical technology, of which the airship is the best known example. They also produced weapons all but indistinguishable from living beings, yet whose destructive power rivaled that of the gods of legend. The early chroniclers labeled these beasts the iconoclastes, and informed this term that the icons of the present day take their moniker. Okay.
If you have a question for me, I should be happy to answer it.
I got some new lore, getting into it. Tarja, resident psychicer or physiker of Clive's hideaway and trusted ally of the cause. She learned much of her knowledge on non-magical interventions in the Southern Isles, where she served as a branded healer. With her magic next to useless in the Blighted Land, a man she called her mentor taught her the true physiker's art. Fate brought the two together again in her mentor's final hours. Long past healing, it was all Tarja could do to use the skills he had taught her to ease his passing. Sharon, one of Sid's most trusted allies. Merchant by trade, Sharon was born in the lands beyond Valistia. She came to the twins as a weapon dealer, selling to anyone willing to pay, in an attitude that earned her not only the fortune but the price on her head. It was while fleeing from her many enemies that she met Sid, who gave her refuge in exchange for her exclusive services. Her hard-working assistant Goats, who she calls her right eye, she bought from his neglectful parents. Goats, apprentice to Sharon and ally of the hideaway, Sharon purchased Goats from his neglectful parents after witnessing how they abused and undervalued their child, and it has been his pleasure to serve her ever since. His name feels much the same way about him, going so far as to call him her right eye on the rare occasions she lets her true feelings slip. Blackthorn, resident blacksmith of Clive's hideaway, and he originally hails from Dreswood in the far-flung desert wastes of Dalmatia, where he and Zoltan both pretensed through, though he has not returned for many years, not at least because his former friend still bears him a deep-seated relationship. Hold on, I gotta go get my food. I think we read all this. I'm back. I had to go pay for some food. Alright. Where we at? We got Rodrigo. Tarja's youthful and inexperienced assistant, a caring yet timid soul. He is committed to saving the lives of his patients, and so quails when asked to perform life-threatening treatments such as removal of barrel brands or the administration of potent tears of Alicia. While he admires Tarja's indefatigability, he fears for the effect on her health and is ashamed that he cannot yet do enough to relieve her burden. Okay. Quentin, the inscrutable landlord of Lost Wing Tavern, though he succeeded in taking his revenge against the Lord Chief Justice who put his family to the sword, he was left bereft after the greater numbers of his loyal comrades lost their lives in the process, and Lost Wing was swallowed by an aether flood. However, with the support of his surviving Lost Wing family, he swore to see the town rebuilt. And we got Martha, landlady of the Golden Stables, and the tavern Heart at Martha's Rest. The village became overcrowded after the aether flood in Lazarus drove the Guardians of Flame and the bearers they had rescued from the Black Shield's raids to seek shelter there. To make space, she worked with Clyde and Wade to resettle them in Eastpool, where she had been supporting them ever since. Okay? Well. Zoltan, the feared and respected chief of the smithing town of Dreswood, where he and Blackthorn learned their craft. After the master, who the two apprenticed under, breathed his last, they came to blows over the future of the town and have exchanged nary a word since. Okay, so they haven't talked, we know that. A whole bunch of lore. Oscar, nephew of Roddy Murdoch, and the late Lord Commander of the Rosarian Army. Clive accepted him as a squire and brought him back to the hideaway that he might learn from Sid the Outlaw example. However, after the Guardians of Flame took back Eastpole, Clive baited Oscar to return to the village where his Aunt Hannah is buried and lend his strength to the restoration efforts. Sir Wade, loyal soldier of Rosaria and leader of the Guardians of Flame, who fight to see the duchy restored. After Clive assisted him and his fellow guardians in driving the bandits from Eastpool, they and the bearers they saved from the Black Shield's purges relocate to the village, where they prepare not only to rebuild it but to rekindle the spirit of Rosaria. Rutherford, manservant of Lord Byron Rossfield, in normal circumstances his daily duties touch all aspects of running his master's manor. Of late, however, Byron has bade him leave the safety of the Port Assault to conduct a survey into the political, military, and economic situation of Storm, a task which he has enjoined the assistance of several of his fellow butlers to the nobility. Right? Okay, I'm missing something somewhere. Nigel, the Hideaway's resident botanist, whose research into the medicinal properties of the flora of the twins and how one might go about growing specimens of interest in the middle of the blighted lake is invaluable to Clive's cause. Still another one, Molly, chief cook at Clive's hideaway, who inherited the role from Kenneth after he lost his life in Titan's attack. Molly's true passion lies in baking of pastries and other sweet meats, but alas, shipments of sugar to the hideaway are few and far between. Instead, she pushes the boundaries of her culinary repertoire by assisting Yvan in reviving the questionable dishes proffered by his questionable cookbook. Okay, lay of the land. The Guardians of Flame, a clandestine group of ducal loyalists who led the rebellion against the imperial occupation of Rosaria and Empress Annabella. Many of their numbers drawn from those who survived the imperial attack on Phoenix Gate in the year 860, who know full well the Empire's involvement in the duchy's fall. After their base in the Lazarus district was lost to an aether flood, they moved to the north, continuing their operations to revive the duchy hand in hand with Martha. They finally resettled in Eastpool, where they now labor to revitalize the village hand in hand with the bearers they and Martha freed. Okay. Wasn't any more in here, right? Correct. We got Eastpool, a hamlet located in the east part of the imperial province of Rosaria. It was deserted after the culling ordered by Empress Annabella, with bandits eventually moving in to occupy the ruins. The bandits were eventually driven from the ruins, and the hamlet claimed by a group of bearers and Sir Wade, Guardians of Flames, who had but recently lost the Lazarus district of Port Assault to an aether flood. We got the Lazarus District, an exclusive walled residential area situated just outside the eastern edge of Port Assault. It was once the jewel in the city's crown, a home of many of the nobles of the duchy. After the empire moved the capital to the crystalline dominion, this once grand district was soon overrun with what appeared to be as too many as thieves and cutthroats, but were in fact a band of ducal revolutionaries known as the Guardians of Flame. Their occupation, however, came to an abrupt end at the hand of an aether flood. Black Shields, an order of knights instituted by Empress Annabella in one of her first acts as vicereine of the imperial province of Rosaria. They were tasked with purging the impurities from the province, to which end they had conducted killings of bow bearers and those who judged to be ducal loyalists. After Annabella died and the Black Shields were left without a leader, many returned to Sandbreak, entering the service of the former Lord Chief Justice and keeping watch on Lost Wing. At one time, the small village in the central of Sandbreak boasted the thriving winery, with the Golden Rouge produced there being prized by connoisseurs across the land. Alas, all these years of hard work were brought crashing down in an instant when the Black Shield, sent by Lord Chief Justice of Sandbreak, turned Akashic, sowing death and destruction in their wake. However, before those villagers who survived the assault could rebuild, an aether flood descended, forcing them to take refuge in the vineyards to the east. The elder man Quentin seeks to start a new village with his family. The one thing about this lore thing is, like, I like it, but they tend to use a lot of the same stuff and just add to it. I wish they would just started it with an intro, and then every additional thing that changed, they just talk about that. In some cases, you end up reading some of the same shit over and over again. It's nice, but it's just not. I don't like the repeated nature of it. Right? Like, there'll be different parts, and it's usually the same shit, but maybe some different stuff. Okay, the Men of the Rock, private army under the command of Hugo Kupka, originally employed as guard to Drake's Fang. The bulk of the force was co-opted by Kupka when he seized control of the Mother Crystal, and has served him, and only him, since after Kupka's death. His forces scattered, largely returning to the countryside, where many now engage in banditry. Castle Lock, an old abandoned village built on the banks of Cedra's Thread in Dhalmekia Republic. Castle Jacques long served as depth of crystals ferried up and down the river, but frequent attacks on the slow-moving transport by bandits prompted the Republic to establish new caravan trails for fleet-footed chocobo coursers, essentially rendering the village obsolete. Soon after the final inhabitants departed, wild beasts moved in. However, there's an effort currently underway by Eloise of the Crimson Caravan to rebuild the town and provide it a safe haven for displaced bearers. Desward, a town located in the rugged mountainous mining region of central Dhalmekia. It is known for its ironwork and armor and weaponry forged here has long enjoyed the reputation of the realm's finest. This is no small part due to their quality of ore the mines produce, as well as the veritable army of local blacksmiths whose skills are said to be unrivaled. Alright. The Krojic Echoes, a bleak orc wilderness stretching through the central Dhalmekia. Its northern half of the veritable warren of claustrophobic canyons and fallen fallen detritus, lacking paved roads or outposts of any kind. In the south, however, it finally opens up to Risenall Flat, and beyond the reclusive community of Tabar. This and the lonely trade route leading to the free cities of Canvar provide the region with at least one semblance of civilization. Okay. A lot of lore here. Southern Isles, a nation based on an archipelago. I know I'm butchering that word. In the seas to the south, Valisthea is maintained in a healthy trading relationship with Dhalmekia and the free cities of Canvar, where the medicines which employed plants found only on its island were particularly prized. Unfortunately, the gradual incursion of the Blight destabilized and eventually destroyed the society entirely. Yeah. Mysteries of the Realm. Echoes. Strange clockwork constructs often encountered in fallen ruins. The question of whether or not they are truly alive is open to debate, as they do not appear to require water, nor do they feed on the flesh of their victims, and beasts do, seemingly existing solely to protect their habitat from intruders, though it is widely assumed they are vestiges of the fallen civilizations. Some of the structures they preside over, such as the apodidary and the sanctuaries at heart of the Mother Crystal, seem to predate even that bygone age. In the aftermath of primogenesis, beneath the blackened skies that followed, they emerged from the ruins at last, and can now be seen wandering the entirety of Valisthea. Interesting. So now they're just like out there in the world now. Oh. Ancient mural. A religious image found across Valisthea, not only in the apoditary under Phoenix Gate and in the comrage near the Heart of Drake's Breath, but upon the tapestry in the Tabor too. It depicts the icons arranged in adoration of the central figure believed to be Ultima, the god that rules above them all. Engineering. The technology of a fallen civilization was highly advanced, and through many of the archaeologian and engineers have sought to study the workings of the curious contraptions they left behind. Little light has yet been shed on these secrets. Engineers of the present day largely learn from each other. Indeed, the knowledge that Mid learned in University of Canvar, she now shares with the children of the Hideaway, that they might one day stand on her shoulders. Botany in the Deadlands. The Deadlands, and they're true to their name, in that no plant nor animal can survive for long in the land swallowed by the Blight. At least that is without the effort of ingenuity. In Sid's Hideaway, Bahomil and Martella found some success in growing crops in the Deadland soil, and others continued their legacy in the new Hideaway. Mid's filters, for instance, make the blackened waters of mere fit for human consumption, and much to Nigel's relief, irrigation. Valisthea culinary pilgrimage. An ancient recipe book that instructs one how to make toothsome fare from game of the realm, though the outdated tongue in which it is penned makes it difficult to divine precisely what beast is being proposed for the pot. It was discovered in the shelves by Yvan as he hunted for inspiration to expand his culinary repertoire, and expand it he did, summoning forth the Chancer's stew, a piquant, some might say putrid, rage out of scorpion tails, whose flesh was as soft as the silt of the swamp in which they live, and the flavor similarly comparable. The Hideaway's head chef, Molly, was not to be outdone. However, drawing from the pilgrimage's pages, fried mortress of skyworm, the dish consisting of wyvern livers sautéed with Saint Bonnet, was heralded a tour de force among those who tasted it. Ew! And that's it for the lore.
The door to the shelves shall ever be open.
Now we're like,
I know my letter.
We're like an hour in. What else we got? We got some new music, what I think is playing now, but I don't know.
So go to break that.
Which song should we listen to?
All of them. Good bones.
Cole said it was an army of Akashi.
How may I help you today, Clive?
Okay. Fitting performance. Natalie reports an unexpected surplus of dollar mill stores, and as a means of showing the town gratitude for past assistance, has expressed her distinct wish that one Lord Underhill partake in the good fortune. All right, so we get some ability points. Nothing crazy.
All yours.
You clutch mine. I think that's a new item. I don't know. All right.
Come again. I may have more for you.
Clive, anything catch your eye? Always
Good for me.
something in there.
Good for me. Any new hunts? Did I ever tell you about the time I journeyed through the southern Ash, Kupo?
Through Orcish lands.
Well, technically they're the Deadlands now, but the orcs don't seem to mind. They found a way to survive without mother crystals, just like we have, Kupo. Though it involves a good deal more of cannibalism that's here at the hideaway. Wow. At least I think it does. You don't happen to know Molly puts in her brown, do you, Kupo? Look at all them hunts done, boy. Okay. Alright, homies and honeys. I'm gonna go ahead and make the cut here, get me some dinner, and I'll pick my recording up a little bit after that. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. You'll be back for the next one. We're gonna be OUT out. Deuces.